guys, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Glory. And today we are here with Natasha.
Hi guys.
Last time it was with Shalewa, but today we are here with Natasha. Last time it was a Q&A session. Today is going to be a conversation, and our topic is transition from teenagehood to adulthood, the panic of growing older. Yes. So what came to your mind when I told you about that topic?
What came to my mind? Okay, so it's like kind of something like I'm dealing with right now. So I guess I was very interested in like doing it and all, like, because I feel we don't really talk about the like difficulties, like how hard it is to like go from teenagehood to like adulthood. So
yeah, and mind you, let me bring it to your notice that she's actually a psychologist. Should I call it a practicing psychologist? Because she's a psychology student. So today it's going to be awesome. Clock it. So first of all, before we go into the video, I would love to say, before teenagehood there is childhood. And yeah, I think childhood is the foundation of teenagehood. If a child's foundation is destroyed, according to the Bible, if the foundation is destroyed, what will the righteous do? So I think if the childhood of any child is destroyed, there is no way the adulthood or the teenagehood would be the best. So first of all, I think that to every parent watching me right now, or to every teenage child who is in that phase of becoming an adult, I want you to know that eventually you will give birth, have children. I would appreciate it if we all become good parents, if we make the memories of our children in their childhood worth remembering. And for parents, I think that, because I think this should be a different episode of itself, parents and their dealings with children, childhood, exactly, and all of that. So I think every child should have the most beautiful memory of their childhood. So, their parents, if you're watching me, should I say they owe us a responsibility?
They do
actually. They do. So I would really appreciate it if every child has the most beautiful memory they can ever imagine. So let's go into the conversation for the day. So now, teenagehood, I think from, should I say 13 or 12? So let's say 13 from the thing. Yeah, let's say a child transits from childhood to teenagehood when they are 13, and from teen to adulthood should be 19 or approximately 20. So from every 13 to 20 years old, children go through a lot of unspoken things. They go through battles and they fight with so many demons that sometimes they feel the society does not understand or will not understand. The society creates expectations for them, and these expectations doesn't just come with, you can do it anytime you wish. I think the expectations comes with pressure. They put pressure on children, on teenagers, to say, you guys, once you are done, we must get to school, get a good grade, you come out, then get a job, immediately get married, start having children immediately. Exactly. So what do you say about that?
Yeah, I feel it's actually like tough. Yeah, it is, because imagine like the pressure, like knowing that okay, immediately I'm done with secondary school, I start battling, writing jam. Immediately I'm done with jam, okay, I'm entering the university. The university is a whole different stage. Like, okay, like realizing, I'm on my own, my parents are not here.
Yes.
That kind of thing, because it's just like living the soft life. Like, okay, before secondary school, the issues we had is, who took my pen?
Let me call my mommy.
My mommy. My teacher did something. Let me call my mommy. In the university, it's not like that. So you now realize yourself, like you're standing on your own. Slowly, you're becoming independent. So it's actually crazy, because there are some decisions you make on your own. You have to make, and you like at that point you can't like, mommy, you can ask for advice, but then it's still your decision. So I feel the pressure, feeling like there are a lot of like pressures, like, oh, how, just thinking about your future alone. How do I make it? How? Just
And
so it's,
one crazy thing about adulthood is that you are no longer influenced by your peers. And even if you want to be influenced by your peers, it should be like 20% of your decision.
yes,
80% of your decision should come from you. Because it is your
exactly.
life. I think transiting from teenager to adulthood, you are in that phase where you think deeply, you reflect. With this
Yes.
leads me to a better state in life. And you know, according to this proverb, a fool at 40 is a fool forever. The moment you start thinking about your life, I don't want to be a fool. How or what should I do? And this transition is usually financially, psychologically, and socially, emotionally. I think this transition does a lot to teenagers, and most times I usually say that adulthood comes with a complimentary card, and it is called sadness. If you are transiting to becoming an adult, you realize you are not as happy as you were as a child. And most times, people translate this thing to make you think it is maturity. But if you take a good look at it, you're actually sad, not mature. So how can we successfully transit into adulthood without becoming sad?
So how can we?
Yes.
I feel normally the pressure will be there, but then I feel social media now. If you look at the like highlights and all, I feel you'll see people like your age. Okay, let me say, people come from like different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So imagine someone coming from like a very like like where they are struggling and all. So and then you are seeing someone very rich and all, and then it's looking like, oh, this person has made it at a very young age, and some people actually make it
At a very young age.
So I feel this social media thing, I feel from like while our children are growing up, we should like let them know that, okay, do not put so much pressure on yourself, because I feel at a point this pressure makes like people go a wrong way, because
Yeah, do
you
things
see
they are
them.
not supposed to do.
Exactly, you see them like, oh, I want to make money, I want to be successful like fast, and then they don't know that you can't pass shortcuts to do this thing.
Yeah.
So I feel most of the time social media is like a like this, and our parents too. I feel our parents put pressure, like most parents feel like, and society, okay, saying, oh, if you have not made it at this age, then when do you want to make it, that kind of, so the whole pressure. And then it's just like, okay, if I'm rushing like out and I'm trying to do my button, I realize I take more time than when I calm down.
Yes,
So
that's the point actually. So I think the more you try to rush things, the more you delay.
you delay it. Exactly.
So what's about, because sometimes I'm also, did I recently just transit into becoming an adult? I don't know, but you know that feeling where you look around and you see your friends and you suddenly feel like, I'm not doing much in my life. Jesus, I'm not doing much with my life. A lot of people right now, a lot of teenagers, I think every child or everybody gets to that point where you look at yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself, I am not doing anything in my life because of what the people around you are doing. Now, in a society where you come out and you see, you can be talking to a friend of yours and your friend is saying, oh, I am already doing this. Your friend is bagging degrees, certificates. Oh, what am I saying? LinkedIn. I am thrilled to announce that I went for this event. I am thrilled to announce. I humbly announce. So in that scenario, in that situation where you think, I'm actually not doing anything with myself, how can it be resolved? Like, how can teenagers overcome that phase in their lives?
Okay, how can they overcome it? I feel patience is one thing, though. I feel patience is one thing. Yeah, and then okay, patience. Okay, patience is very important.
Yeah.
Because then, like I said before, rushing things. So how can you overcome it? I feel like putting yourself out there, not like in a bad way, like, okay, trying to know. Because
do what they are doing, trying to match up.
Yeah, exactly. Because at a point in my life, I felt like I was too into myself. So I realized that, okay, I have to like communicate with people to be able to like know things. Because there are some events now that you see that, oh, like let me say volunteering stuffs and all that you see people doing now. And then if you had connections, like if you are very social, then I feel you will be able to know all this stuff. So I feel it's just putting yourself out there. If you are too into yourself, then you won't know. But I feel personally, if you want to be there, you will be there.
And
while
and again, I think with patience, you spoke about patience. I also feel that should be the number one reason, because I sometimes feel like I'm not doing much in my life, but then I've also come to realize that behind the scene, there is something we call behind the scene. In every movie, there's always a behind the scene. So that behind the scene is kind of a proof that even if we are not seeing something physically, there is something going on that we are not seeing. So I think that's one crazy thing about growth. A lot of times we think growth is sudden, that I want to do it quickly, but there is always something. The fact that you can't see it does not mean it is not happening. I think this is one thing teenagers should understand. Why? Is it just teenagers? I think this is a message for everybody, from a child to an adult. The fact that you are not seeing it, the fact that it is not showing. We are humans. We want quick things. It should happen. Let me see. But there is always something going on behind the scene. There is always something that you need to see. There is always something happening. The fact that you are not noticing it doesn't mean it is not happening. So I think that should be it for whoever is thinking they have been left behind. You are never behind. Don't see. And I think we should put a balance to this thing. A lot of people, a lot of teenagers, they would sleep, they will not wake up. Their friends are, like you said about volunteering for stuffs. Their friends are trying to, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? And you're there. You're not doing anything, and you think there is something going on behind. It's a lie. You have to. Yes. If you're putting effort, you're hardworking, trying your best, and it looks as if there is nothing happening. Trust me, there is something going on behind the scene. I think we should make mention of that. There is always something going on behind the scene. And again, I think emotionally, I think a lot of teenagers fall into depression. And if there is one thing I've realized about the African parents, or our African parents, they are usually not, should I say, most parents are not friends of their children. And I think that is one thing I would advise parents to be in this society, especially in this time, that beyond parenting your children, I think they should be friends of their children. So now we live in a society where a child can actually be going through a lot, and one thing about transiting from a teen into adulthood is identity crisis. This is a point where a lot of children suffer from identity crisis. They are confused about who they are, what they want to be, and unfortunately a lot of people came into uni, and because they are studying right now, it's not a course that is out of their decision. It's a course they saw their friends studying. Imagine back then, I think it has stopped right now, because back then your parents would tell you that you must become a doctor. If you're not a doctor, you must become a lawyer. But I think to some extent it stopped. And when it stopped, I think the baton moved to that of your friends. Your friends come together and say, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become an engineer. So majority of the times, these children, they really don't know what they like. And now if you get to school, 99.9% of the people in school will tell you that I don't like my course. When I'm done with it, I'll look for what. So how can we come to the point where teenagers are no longer confused? They know what they want, why they want it, and the end of their decisions.
Okay, so personally, so I feel children should be educated on what, if a child says, okay, this is what I want to do, the child is still I believe when we are growing, we are still figuring out ourselves, trying to know, okay, what do I want to become? So once a child says something, doesn't mean you should just take it to heart, that kind of thing. Because when I wanted to enter secondary school, I was quite confused. Sorry, SS, that's where you choose the department you want to go. So I was quite confused, because when I was small, there are some things most children say, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer. Okay, so I was okay, I wanted to become a doctor and all. So then later, going on, I realized that, is this truly what I want to do? So okay, SS1 first time, okay, second term, I was considering changing to art. So I think this is a stage where a lot of people are actually confused that, okay, what do I truly want to do? Is this what, okay, what am I going into? Because you just say, I want to be a doctor, but you know what it takes. I don't think they know what it takes to be a doctor. So then I came for my JUPEB program. I just chose, okay, I had psychology in mind then too. So I just chose that, okay, at least my subject combination can go for both medicine, anyone that I now choose at that point. So to tell you that I was still confused even after entering. You get still confused that, okay, where do I truly want to go? So I feel what helped me, one thing again, is holding God close.
We are coming to that
exact point. Because I feel what helped me personally was just prayers. Because I was so confused. And then I feel, as I said, medicine, my parents were just all about the medicine, that kind of thing. So I had lesson teachers, everything. So I feel at the point I was even struggling because I usually I was like really good and all, but at the point I just found myself falling like educationally, because I felt at that point I was really confused. So I realized that, okay, children should be educated. They should be educated. Because it was when I prayed, I was like, God, anything you want me to do, just show me that way. So I got a lot of signs and everything. So I feel children are not educated enough, like, about what they are going into, what it takes to be there, the effort you need to be there. So I feel they should be like counseling like students, okay, in schools. Okay, what do you want to do? Why do you want to do this? Then when they ask me, why do you want to be a doctor, I say I want to save life. That was not enough reason, because I'm the type of person that can't stand seeing blood. So then now telling you that I want to do medicine, and then I can't stand seeing blood.
You know that point where you want to save lives, but you know that if they take me to this theater, I am killing lives.
Because there was a time my mom had an injury, and I was like it was a small, not really small, but small kind. It's not something that she triggered on, but like I felt my hand shaking. Like I don't just like seeing blood. So I'm like, okay, so just imagine I was in that field, and then you are tearing up dead bodies, and now I'm like, no. I was not educated enough. I was not counseled
enough. Now, concerning the spiritual aspect, because we are coming here, concerning the spiritual aspect, you know, we are, especially now that you said holding God tight as a teenager is extremely important for whoever is watching. You can be a Christian, you can be a Muslim, but I think as a teenager, you should by now understand that life is beyond the physical. We should not even talk about, oh, is there God? Is there no God? Do you understand? So now, if or in that phase of transition, sometimes I might be too tired to read my Bible. Sometimes I might be too tired to pray. And I know many people experience that too, especially as a teenager transiting into adulthood. You have a lot of things in your mind. You have a lot of things to do. Now, talking or speaking to God, trying to secure your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your career, putting everything together is kind of a little bit, not, it's very hard. So the easiest thing we do is just drop God at the side and say, let me quickly take other things to make the weight lighter. But we do not understand that God is the only person that can make whatever weight. Even in the Bible, he says it, come up to ye, oh ye that labor and I will give you rest. Do you understand? So we do not realize that God is the only one who makes us feel lighter. So what do you have to say to people who do not necessarily think God is important in the equation of transiting from teenage to adulthood?
Okay, personally, I feel, okay, your relationship with God is not your parents, it's not them that will determine everything. But then I feel to an extent it still falls back to your parents. Because, okay, now I feel like, okay, as a Christian, now I feel children are like brought up, okay, you are a Christian, you're a Christian, you are like, there is God, Jesus is real, you get that kind of thing. So I found myself thinking that, okay, why am I even like why am I doing this? Like, what, like, do I really believe in this Jesus that we're like talking
Talking
about?
about
Exactly. Like, am I a Christian because my parents are Christian?
90% of the times in an African home, we are Christians because our parents are
Christian.
Christians.
Exactly. So I found myself like trying to discover, okay, am I truly a Christian because of
Yeah,
like
and I think serving Jesus should not be forced. You
it
don't
should
force.
not be forced.
But in an African,
In an that's
you
the
will
issue.
you won't go to church in my house.
Exactly. So that's why I say it still falls back to your parents, because they make it like, okay, is you must go to church, you must do this. So once a child like leaves that stage that, oh, I'm no longer with my parents, oh my gosh, I don't have to go to church, nobody is forcing me, you get. So I feel you should like educate, I don't know how to explain, but like educate the child.
I think
so they are choosing it because
yeah,
they
and
want
I
to.
think there was one time I saw a poster, a flyer, a motivational quote. A man was holding, I think a man was holding a child or something, but a child was behind the man, and it was written on it that children don't follow your advice, they follow your example. So I think for a parent, the best way to make your child know that there is God is to be like God to, or to be like Christ to them. So, for example, a child offends you. Children are not stupid. They have feelings, they have emotions. So, a child offends you, and as a parent, the child comes to you to say, "Oh, dad, see what I did this, I did that." Then you will tell the child, "I would have beaten you, but I forgive you because this is what Jesus would do. Jesus has forgiven you.
Exactly.
I have forgiven you." So it makes that child know that, oh, there is somebody who makes my dad forgives me anytime I misbehave. That means this person that can change my dad and make my dad forgive me or make my dad love me this much, there must be something about this person that I don't know yet, which I would want to know. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yes.
that's what
That's a valid point.
yeah, that's a valid point. So I just feel like exhaustion is one of the major tools of Satan in this end time. The fact that Satan makes teenagers so exhausted with thinking, life, and they do not have time to talk to God. They do not have time to pray, especially when it comes to prayers. A lot of people are too exhausted to pray. But then I've realized that the best way to fight against exhaustion, especially when it comes to prayers, is to always pray. The moment it occurs to you that I need to pray, don't every 5 minutes you pray. So if you pray for 5 minutes every time, at least in 1 hour, you pray for 5 minutes 5 times. If you multiply that to 24 hours in a day, then you covered a lot. So sometimes you don't just wait until we are settled to pray, because if we keep waiting until we are settled to pray, we will never have the time to pray. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I just feel like now we keep talking about old people coming out, teenagers talking, but then there are people who are naturally different. And what I mean is that introverts set of people. Now, communicating with people is very easy for extroverts, people who come out to say, I am this, I am that. But this topic is very unique to teenagers who are introverts, people who do not feel they are welcomed when they come into a conversation, people who do not feel they are people who do not like talking.
Yes.
So what do you say to introverts who struggle with a lot of things?
I feel personally I've been there before. So okay, when you feel okay, you are not welcomed, you are not like you don't just feel okay around people and or feel very uncomfortable. So I think the best thing is just to just give yourself a push at time, because if you know it, like nobody is, like sometimes nobody is there to help you. Nobody is there to help. But I don't know, I can't say much about that, because people now, I don't know, a lot of people, it depends. Personally, for me, it depends on my spiritual because I feel whenever I struggle like with such things, okay, because there was a particular period for me where I was struggling with self-worth, struggling with a lot of things.
I think self-esteem.
Yeah, I
Your
had
self-esteem is damaged.
exactly. So I feel there was a point where I struggled with certain things, and then the only thing that helped me was prayer, because I did not talk to anybody about it, not my parents, my sister. I did not, even my friends. I did not talk to anybody. There are times I'll cry, I'll clean my tears, I'll move on, that kind of thing. So I feel the struggle is, but then I realized I just had to like give myself a push. Like, and okay, this I feel affirmations work too. Okay, I'm this, I'm that. That kind of thing.
I think, like you said, affirmations, they work, especially when it comes to having a low self-esteem. You can never win against low self-esteem if you are silent. And one thing I've realized about words are not just words. Words are bigger than what we think it is. Words are, I think, what translates or what become people. I really don't know how to explain it, but words have the ability to do things a human being can do. So every time you look at yourself in the mirror, begin to speak. That, you know, there is a way you speak something to the point you believe it. You believe it. And one crazy thing about it is sometimes you think it's not working, but just this is same thing like a music we listen to every time. We listen to a song, and one day we realize you're just singing this song, not because we deliberately sat down to learn the song, but because we kept hearing the song. And if there is one thing I think kills self-esteem, the moment we start speaking it to our mind, to the point that we don't know when we become it. So I think that kills self-esteem. The best way to fight against self-esteem is not silence. It is speaking positive words against it. And I think until self-esteem, like, I was reading a book, The Energy. I read a lot of his book, and one of the book, I've forgotten the name right now. I think it was talking about public speaking. Yeah, the act of public speaking or something. He was speaking about how to handle self-esteem, and he said you can never. True intelligence is not practicing. True intelligence is not always reading or silently doing it or doing it in your room. It is by practicing it. It's by practicing it, coming out, talking about it. So if you practice confidence inside your room, go out and be confident. If you practice being a public speaker, or if you practice talking well in public, if you practice yourself as a good communicator in your room, go out and become a good communicator. I think one major thing a lot of teenagers need to understand is I think most times as teenagers we care a lot about what the society has to say, and that is why this is one of the major reasons we've gotten to that point where teenagers are depressed. What will they say? How will they see me? I think sometimes we just need to get to that point where we do not care anymore. We don't care. If you don't speak well, don't care. You improve and you do better. I think for introverts, sometimes this low self-esteem cages you and makes you feel like you have nothing to offer. It makes you feel like there is nothing good that can, which makes you feel like there is nothing good. I'm just remembering a Bible character. It was that said, can anything, Nathaniel, I think it was Nathaniel that said, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Yes. So they've seen the way Nathaniel saw Nazareth and said nothing good. They've looked at you and said, can anything good come out of this person? But there is always good in a person. No matter how crazy or no matter how dangerous a bee is, there is always something good. No matter how dirty a crude oil is, there is always something good inside a crude oil. So why do you think God hid a lot of treasures in a crude oil and he overlooked a human being, someone he created in his own image and likeness? You understand? I just feel like every teenager should be able. You should get to that point where, I'm not saying you should be not nonchalant, you should care. But when it comes to developing yourself, when it comes to being who you want to be, as a teenager, you should get to that point where you do not care about what they say. Because if you keep caring, you will keep delaying. Do you understand? And again, I think we need to talk about, because this is a whole series. We need to end this, but it's a lot. There was something I recently realized: perfection paralysis. And what does that mean? A lot of times we teenagers, I'm no longer a teenager. Why do I keep using with teenagers? Teenagers want to become perfect before starting. You want to start a business, but you're like, you want to start a business, and you're like, it needs to be perfect before starting. That's what perfection paralysis is. And I think one major thing that perfection does, or the should I say, one major thing that wanting to be perfect does, it delays you. You don't start at all. It is better you start. Motivational speakers will always say, start simple, start start anyhow,
And go
just
big.
start. Yes, I think we should listen to that. You should start. Just start as a teenager. Just start. A lot of times we are scared of what our parents would say. At the end of the day, your parents will never live your life for you. If you become stubborn and you succeed, stubborn in the sense that you pursue your dreams and you succeed, you will be the one to be proud of you. You see, humans are so, what should I say, are so fragile and just so unstable. Unstable that they would force you and cage you to be who you are not supposed to be. And when the repercussion comes, they will tell you, why did you listen to us? I think as children or as teenagers, you should have a touch of stubbornness in your head. Not dishonoring your parents, not disturbing your parents, but making them realize that you have just one life to live. And the moment they allow you, or the moment they force you to destroy your life, there is no going back for you. They've lived their life. One of the evidence that they lived their life is giving birth to you. But when it gets to your turn, and most times these African parents, they actually be disobedient to their parents. That's why they go where they are. So they keep caging children, they keep caging teenagers, they keep caging them. You want to move away from your parents' house as an adult. Even as an adult, they cage adults and they'll tell you are too young. How old am I? I am too young to leave the house. I'm old enough to leave the house. So I think all these things should be put in place. All of these things should clearly be stated. Even I was watching a podcast today on TEDx, and the guy was saying that parents should learn to let go of their children. We should get to that point where we are not just no longer overprotective. We have our lives to live. We should know when to stop. I think parents should know when to stop. In as much as, oh, I love my parents, I love them so much. I think every child should love their parents. Everybody should love their family members. But at the same time, I feel when transiting to adulthood, you should know when a child becomes an adult. Again, what I was watching concerning the whole adult thing, the guy said transiting from teen into adult is like breaking a plate and rearranging it to become stronger. And I think in that phase where a child like the example I use, the plate is broken, the parents should not be the ones who crushes the plate. They should help in packing and arranging the plate again. So I think parents should be able to let go of their children when the need arises.
Yes, and I feel like parents' restriction and like overprotective behavior is like, I don't know, but I feel it's kind of affects as well. Cause okay, imagine someone that cause I feel some parents are too, they restrict their children too much. Cause imagine someone that you don't allow the child go out. I know some parents that don't allow their child go out, like nothing. After school, come back, read, that kind of thing. I feel that programmed lifestyle
It's not
the best.
Yes.
Cause then another thing is that these children, I feel when they are entering university now, they feel I have freedom. So they tend to go astray a lot of times because they want to explore. Because I feel there are some discussions also parents don't have with their children. There are some things they just like feel that, don't do it, don't do this in my house, that kind of thing. Like, you get, like, they just have the mind that you are not meant to do it. You know you are not meant to do it. But this discussion with me.
Until you speak, you don't know what this person is thinking.
Exactly.
So I think this is that communication is that is why from the beginning I said you should not just be a parent to your children, you should be a friend of your child.
Yes.
This is what a lot of parents do not want to come in terms with.
So I feel the restrictions are like kind of too much, and like they should like not give the child way to be doing like just going out with that kind of person that is everywhere. No, but then a child should not be too restricted. According to me, like from my own point of view, a child should not be too restricted, and then they should educate the child on things that things that they know that you will is like you should not just, because I feel African parents brush a lot of topics, and if you bring it up to them, they feel you should not be discussing it at that age. But no, I feel you should. Because when I see people now, I feel it's because I have, like, just because of my relationship with Christ. Because once you have Christ, you tend to follow the right way. That's the thing. So, because I feel there are some things that, okay, when I see people and I'm like, wow, like, if their parents had this conversation with them, they'll, like, let them know that, okay, this is it. Okay, even if you get into this, you get that kind of thing, like, even try to avoid it, that kind of thing, but not to brush it away, that kind of thing. So yeah.
So I think we've had a long conversation.
Yeah.
We had a lot of things to say, but we still have a lot of things to say, but I think we need to right. All right, it's so good to have this conversation with you. It was a pleasure having you here, and it was a wonderful discussion. So guys, before we leave, I want you to like, subscribe, turn on your notification button so you can get further episodes. But before we go, like always, let's appreciate Natasha. I think the hug should be, can you get a hug before you go? Oh my god. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So guys, until our next episode on Conversations with Glory, bye.